Howdy, howdy, y'all. I was asked to say something good about Biden. Well, I'm going to say something good about him. Found something good about him. He put a press secretary in place to speak for him. Lucky Bear, that's funny. He put a press secretary in. That brought back what Obama did with immigration. And here, by the way, is the story. And they also have the proof to that with this story that it's Obama and how he liked to put kids in cages that were taken from their families and coming from Mexico. I just said something really good about him. I'm glad he brought back up the points of how Obama administration, Joe Biden's administration, by the way, uh, because he was vice president. So that was also just as much his administration. That Obama was putting kids in cages, looked like dog kennel cages, and she was the one who brought that back to life. That was really nice of her. So that was really cool. He put someone that did that. I appreciate it. That's something nice I could say. Another nice thing is right here, he's allowing people in, as I said, unvetted, unchecked, and not checking them for any diseases or anything else like that. There's that story. That's really nice of him to do too. Especially since he says the Super Bowl. He says the Super Bowl will be a super spreader for the COVID, but he's wanting to let 150,000 people a year in, unchecked and unvetted. So, just saying, just saying. Uh, Unchecked, unvetted. Uh, don't check for diseases. Don't let anything catch a release. Catch them as they're coming in. Process their name and let them go. Don't do nothing. There's that story. That's really nice of Biden, ain't it? That's really nice. I got to thank him for that. That's really cool. And then here's the piece of resistance. He took away all sanctions and all all vetting to people in Myanmar, including a known terrorist organization. And there's that story. So I have three good things to say about Biden and his policies of immigration. Thank you, Biden, for putting us at risk for diseases, for letting 150,000 people in, unchecked and unvetted. Thank you so much. The American people, thank you. That was such a nice thing to do. And then we also thank you for being such a nice person, for even taking away sanctions of known terrorist organizations and allowing them to freely come into our country. We thank you. That was such a very nice thing to do. You're awesome, man. I found three good things I could say about Biden. There you go. Yeah, probably next. Yeah, you're probably right on that, Lucky Bear. Probably. Just saying. Yeah, that's basically what he's done. Lucky Bear is tore it down. I mean, he's completely stopped it and everything. Hey, Joe Fool. So I just thought I was asked to find three good things to say about Biden. Yeah, Yeah, I understand that, but there's opposition to that right now. Texas and Arizona are suing him for that right now to stop it. So hopefully the Supreme Court at least understands and knows what a national security risk that is, and stops his wanting to tear it down. So that's the part you're missing there, Lucky Bear. I ain't behind on that. Texas and Arizona are suing his ass right now to stop it, and I'm hoping that's what happens. So yeah, that's what he's trying to do, Lucky Bear. Trying. He's got a good step into that. When he said an unprecedented uh, um, ability to remove anybody he wishes uh, from their committees or assignments by Congress. Um, he proved an unprecedented way of doing that, and so now if he don't like what you got to say right now, you're gone. You don't have any say so anywhere except for as a vote. Period. That's it. Um, and that's what he's doing. So anybody that opposes him in any way or direction, just like China did, by the way, just like Myanmar is doing right now, just like North Korea has done, anybody that opposes them, they get gone. Right now, they haven't gone as far as to starting to kill people yet, but I'm sure that's along the way at the rate things are going. Because right now he's just in the phase of killing off the people, what looks like a legal way of doing it, and he don't have to get his hands dirty. I hope you're right, Lucky Bear. I hope you're right, honestly. So, but I found the three things I could say good about it. It's the best I could say good about it. And until you can tell me what he's done good, 250,000 jobs in Canada and America gone at the stroke of a pen. More to come because he put us in the Paris Accord agreement when there's 158 countries that have worse emissions than us and will not reach their goals set that they tried to set forth for next year, the 2022. They'll not cut the emissions that they have going out to the point of what they said they would have it at by the year 2022. We're the only one that has cut our emissions and actually dropped our emissions in that Paris Accord agreement lower than what we said we would drop the emissions, and that's by worldwide account. Uh, but what that Paris Accord agreement did do is it cost jobs and lots of them, lots and lots of jobs. Again, the Lakota and Ute have sent letters to Biden asking him to reopen the pipeline and give back the land. And Biden said he was for all minorities. But yet, out of them 170,000 altogether now jobs that have been removed by the pipeline itself, there was about 35 to 40,000 Native American jobs lost. And he's basically saying, fuck you. Go to school, and learn how to make solar panels, where most of them jobs aren't in the United States. Most of them jobs are in China. So, hey, Puget Sound. Well, in a way, that's a bad thing too, Puget Sound. I don't like what's coming up right after him as a vice president. She's as bad, if not worse. Just saying. Cum dump is really bad. I'll tell you that now. She is very bad. So I don't know if that's good or if that's bad. That he's old and past his sexual yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know which is worse. So we should date on and let her have full reign. You know what I'm saying? So so I just want to thank Joe Biden for putting our country in peril, for allowing free access to our country again by known terrorist groups that have attacked the U.S. Ships in the past, and also have tried to set up attacks here on our own soil, uh, right here, that's coming out of Yemen. I thank you for that. I really do, Joe Biden. You allowing anybody who comes across the Mexican border free access to the country. You're awesome. Without being vetted or even checked for any diseases or anything, dude, you're fucking awesome, man. You are such a great, great man. I gotta thank you for that. That I mean, what what more can we ask for? You know? So yeah, I just blew your damn. The person that told me to find something good to say about Biden, I just blew your damn. Let's let the Muslims back into the country ban being lifted. Just told you one reason why, and I got you a news story to prove why that was the most ignorant, stupid, moronic fucking thing he ever done. Next to opening up the borders in Mexico, where now they've just caught and they proved, because they went ahead and vetted them, because that has not it's not implemented till another 3 weeks from now, the catch and release program. They were able to vet that six fucking Libyan terrorists, known terrorists, were trying to come through the Mexican border. Four females and two males, to come into our country, known Libyan terrorists. Now, what's going to happen when that actually gets implemented to where the non-vetting, just catch and release, and no vetting, no checking for diseases and things like that? Where's that go? If they're already trying it, where's that go? There's you some there's you some food for thought when you ask me if I think the Muslim ban being lifted is a good thing, or if you think I think making it to where people can't come into the United States without being vetted or being checked for diseases is a good thing. Uh, there you go. There's my answers. That's a relation, motherfuckers. Then it shows Obama and his administration and what he was doing to Mexican children. And then his little bitty press secretary comes out and tries to spin it. It was all Obama, or all Trump's fault that happened, and used the same pictures that came out in a story. Used the same pictures that came out in the Obama administration. How he was bragging about uh, 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 putting these kids in cages. Oops! Wow, I love it. thank you for lying to the country and proving that you're nothing but a scummy ass liar too. That was a good thing. Thank you. Very much so, Mark Miller. He is a very good one. Oh, you think it's right? You think it's great, Lost Generations, that people are going to be able to be unvetted and unchecked for diseases or viruses or anything else. Okay, well, that's cool. I'm glad you think that's great, Lost Generations. I think it's great that you think that people can come in here and give all sorts of diseases and viruses to the United States people that are here. I think it's great that, like I said, they're using this as time and ability to to lift sanctions and unvet people coming from Yemen that are even known terrorists, and they're praising Biden for it. These known terrorist groups are praising Biden for it and saying they're coming. I think it's great you think that. I think it's great. You might want to go watch that damn show where I'm glad you think it's great, buddy. Lost Generations. I think it's great you think that. Yeah, there you go, Mark. I'm glad you think that's okay that people come in here, be sick, make the United States population, who's not done a damn thing to you, Lost Generation, sick. I'm glad you think it's okay for them to come in here and try to terrorize this country that's not, and the people in this country that has not done a damn thing to you, Lost Generation. I think it's great that you think it's a hell of a lot better than the United States people who've not done a damn thing to you. I think it's. I think you think. I think that's just awesome. You think that's great because when they terrorize, they don't give a fuck who you are. Period. I don't care. They proved that in every terrorist act that they've done. They don't care if you're Democrat. They don't care if you're Republican. They don't care if you're Mexican. They don't care if you're Jewish. They don't care if you're fucking Native American. They don't care who you are, as long as they get their accomplishment of terrorism done. Period. They don't care who you are. So I think it's great. You think it's better than the United States citizens who have not done a damn thing to you, Lost Generation. Probably don't even know who the fuck you are. I know I don't. So I don't think I've done anything wrong to you, and I would dare to venture the majority of the United States citizenry don't even know you to have done anything wrong to you. So I'm glad you think it's a hell of a lot better than the United States citizens and their safety. Just saying. So them are the three things I could say good about Biden. And I could say something nice. He's a really good racist. Yes, Mark Miller. Yes, he is. And he's racist against the United States citizens. That's what I'm saying. Because he ain't marking just one group anymore. He, with the pipeline, he proved that because there was Democrats, there was Republicans, there was uh, Native Americans, from Native Americans to Mexicans to whites to blacks, all working on that pipeline. So yeah, I mean, he's racist against the United States citizenry, and he's proving it. Um, he ain't just racist against one group. You want me to say something else good about Biden? I want to know how this person can claim he's a BLM member and still be happy with him and try to find anything good about him when he even told the BLM to go fuck themselves. We ain't talking to you after he used you and abused you and used and abused your organization and your name to help try to get himself elected. And then when it come to the time to talk, he told you all to fuck off. Well, I don't even know you. Get away from me. I don't need to talk to you. Wow. So, yeah, I do. Yes, I do remember that. Due to the terrorist groups of five, and then they offered sanctuary to three more terrorist groups that had been terrorizing the world for years. Offered sanctuaries. Yes, I do remember when he voted that measure. Uh, yes, I do. And it wasn't involvement. It was called sanctions, and sanctions to stop them from getting any help in any way, shape, or form. When and why ain't their government? It's such a big deal. Why ain't their government, who is the 17th richest government in the world? Okay, you can look that up. Why ain't they helping their people? Why are we expected to help their people when we're having a hard enough trouble and been having for years hard enough trouble helping our own here in the United States? So why should we involve ourselves in other countries and get billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to other countries when right here in the United States, the homeless population has more than quadrupled since the freaking pandemic. And we got more people on the streets today than any other time in history. And he wants to still send billions and billions and billions and let more into the country when we can't even help the people that are here right now. Now, that's some fucked up thinking. Oh, sweet. I'll probably go back and watch that, Florida. One thing I do have to admit, Florida Hillbilly, even though we've had our problems, I still watch you fishing, and I enjoy watching you fish. Makes me a little homesick, but enjoy it. Uh, I don't think so. When they had already uh, um, gave sanctions to four known major terrorist groups, including ISIS, including a couple others, when that came about. So, all right, Florida. All right, Florida. All right, cool. I know what caused them sanctions to go out there last generation. I know exactly what caused them sanctions. I also read the paperwork saying that the sanctions would be immediately lifted as soon as they quit harboring known terrorist groups. So, and expel them and start arresting them instead of giving them sanctuary and a free place to live and a free place to stay. So he said, there's part of your paperwork you're missing there, Lost Generations. So, yeah, I read that too. I didn't just stop at one little section. Oops, just to try to make a point. And it's a very valid point as well. When when it states in the paperwork clearly, if you stop harboring and start arresting known terrorists, hey man, known terrorists, he would lift all sanctions to Yemen and start helping them. Instead, Yemen even cracked down harder and even kicked out all U.S. people that were in the country trying to stop these known terrorist groups from terrorizing the world. Not here as much, but the rest of the world. And it wasn't just Saudi Arabia they were going after; they were going after England. As a matter of fact, they had the British and the French, not us, the British and French at the Ariana Grande bombing over there, found that that terrorist group orchestrated and came out of Yemen to and went and did the bombing at the Ariana Grande concert. That killed several kids and hurt hundreds of kids as well. So there you go. Let, again, let's praise and heap praises on a government that's the 17th richest government in the world that cannot even help their own people. They're sitting in trash dumps and eating out of trash dumps. Uh, and they want to harbor known freaking terrorist groups. They kill little kids. Little kids. So there you go. So let's keep talking good about Yemen. Let's keep talking good about them. I don't think so. Saudi Arabia arrests them immediately. And you might want to go watch some Saudi news when you go before you go start saying that, because as soon as they come in their country and they find out that they ain't asking anybody to get a warrant. They ain't asking anybody to do anything. They're going and grabbing them, taking them, putting them in custody, and putting them in prison immediately. Period. End of statement. Now, you want to try that one? Yeah. They got that on their news. They got that on their dockets and everything else. I know common knowledge too, and you ain't gonna tell me what's going on when I can see it with my own two eyes and see and know exactly what they're doing. So let's try again. All right, Lost Generations. I'm not trying to be dickhead, but I ain't gonna let you sit here and try to spin just like Biden's little press secretary did about the it being Trump's fault about the kids. Just saying. And if you also watch, there's also videos out there. I forgot to get the links to those. If I would have sat there and got the links to all of those, I've been here for 2 hours instead of an hour talking about something. And it shows where men and women are taking their kids uh, right up to the borderline on a bridge that's in Arizona, and another one in Texas. And they're taking them right up to the line, pushing the kids across and running and never crossed the line, so they couldn't be arrested. They're pushing the kids across and running away and going back into Mexico. Uh, and making us take care of the kids and things like that. Why they don't want to do anything more with their kids and have and there's also videos of where they tried to reunite kids with their parents back in Mexico, and they didn't want them back as well. So I'm glad all that was brought to light. That was really cool that he put his press secretary and involved a press secretary that brought that all back to light. But it wasn't, and all in a lie. So everybody would talk about it, and you all would know what was going on there. That was really cool. I appreciate that. That was a good thing he did. I know they have, Swami. I'm just glad it got back to the front of why what Biden's saying is a screwed up thing. I'm just glad because she wanted to lie about it's all Trump that did that. That made it to where the kids were living in the cages, dog kennels, what looks like dog kennels, when it wasn't him. I'm glad she did that. So that way that part of the storyline could be debunked. Then now I got one question. Since I was accused of backing the good of a certain person, and he won't never bring up that I don't back his bad at all. He won't bring that up. Uh, but he will accuse me of backing this person and say and put my name to the to saying that I agree with the KKK because I back that person. Now I got one question for that person that said that this morning to me. If the KKK were to denounce the Republican Party immediately effective today and went to the Democratic Party, where would you stand? Since you want to put it in hypotheticals, I want you to answer that hypothetical question. If they effective immediately denounce the whole Republican Party today and move to the Democratic Party, where would you stand? And say they back Biden, where would you stand? I'd like to know that answer. Well, to a point, yes, Steve Manager, you're right. You're right. I'll give you that. Actually, the Democrats did start the KKK. You're right. Just saying, Steve Manager, you are correct. And that was my next part I was going to say. When they denounce the Republican Party, they will be going back to their own party, the Democratic Party, if they do that. Are you upset that the KKK left your party that you're so proud of? Because that's what it seems like to me. Or Or do you not want me to group you in with a group that may allow that to happen? And did, by the way. They were the ones who started it. You're right, Steve Madden. You're right. So these are just things that you might want to think about when you start hitting on someone and start trying to damage a person and call them things they are not. Uh, Steve Madden's making the points right for me. I'm telling you that now. These are points that you should take into account when you do this. Okay. I agree. I agree with that, Steve Badger. Um, I do agree with that. And I agree. There is no moral superiority with either party. And believe me, I have went off on Trump. I have right here saying he needs to denounce the KKK right here on this channel. He needs to denounce them and quit saying it's an okay thing. But you know what? He never did denounce the BLM or Antifa either. Uh-oh. There's you, a racist motherfucker, ain't it? He never denounced the Antifa. He never denounced BLM. He said what they were doing by doing violent acts was wrong, but he never denounced what they were doing was wrong and why they were doing it. So there's your racist motherfucker, man. But you got racist Biden saying everything that anybody that's a Republican or a Christian now is wrong. Just saying. Now I don't know about that, Mink Stone. I'm not. Uh, I have not seen. I don't remember ever seeing the eulogy for the KKK member. But if he did, that would mean he was an ex or a member at the time. If he did something like that, I've never seen that, so I cannot speak on that one. Mike Mink Stone. So I ain't denying you. I ain't denying you. I just said I can't speak on that because I've not seen it. Okay, I'm not denying you. I intend to as soon as I get off here. Actually, Mink Stone. I intend to because that seemed like something I would like to look up. And I agree with you on that, Steve Manager. I agree with you. Ideology should never be the premise for how the government treats us, and I agree with that. And I will, Mink Stone. I promise you, I will look it up. Okay. Actually, if you want to know the truth, hey, Upstate, what's up, man? It was good meeting you in country earlier today, man. That was really cool. That was really cool. And actually, if you want to know the truth for the KKK, it was not intended to harass and go after blacks. At that time, and if you look at the very start of the KKK, not the second start of the KKK, the first start of the KKK was to stop carpetbaggers, and that was majority was white. Were coming down and taking Confederate land and Southern land because they had just went into total chaos, disarray. People were trying to get themselves back under control, and they were, or the men and women had been killed like through Sherman's March to the Sea, where carpetbaggers were really hitting hard was where they killed the women, children, everybody when he did that, and they were taking the large swaths of land and making them their own. As a matter of fact, I even read diaries of a lady who's a prominent, her family is a prominent figurehead in the North in Ohio and everything else. Miss Lawrence, they have the old diaries from their people when they were coming down here as carpetbaggers, and how they tried to stop the in North Florida and South Georgia, and they didn't get several hundred thousands of acres, but they still got several thousands of acres of land for their family. So yes, I will. Give me a second. Uh, uh, Upstate audit or upstate audit. There you go, buddy. To an extent, Swami, it was to fight against the North, the Senate, to an extent. Yeah. Hey, King Nine, Village Idiot News. How are you, buddy? You're a mod, by the way, upstate. I got to meet him in country today. They're two cool dudes, I'm telling you. Even though I tell you what, we were really cool dudes by the time we parted ways. We stood outside and it was 19 degrees with a wind chill of 8. It was fucking cold. uh, uh, I hope y'all are doing well. Uh, so, um, so I just wanted you to know all of what's going on there when you start attacking someone and putting them into a group. Being a dickhead, like I was today, was uncalled for on uncontrollables, and I do apologize. Um, but I have a big problem, and I'm beginning to have a really big problem when I get categorized like that, and it's getting old. It ain't no different with you being categorized as being uh, black terrorist, uh, uh, black hateful, whatever. You know, it ain't no different when you all have your problems with all that. Okay, it ain't no different. And you get so mad that you go, some of your groups go and burn down buildings, beat up people, kill people, and everything else. All I did was run my fucking mouth. Okay, you see, ain't no different. So I want you to think about that. So you and your points are no different than my point when you tried to categorize me. Just because I think what one guy did with our economy, which he had the biggest and one of the best and robust economy starting since the before the bubble popped back in '98. Uh, he had the start of that going on like nobody's business. He got more jobs, and there was less unemployment for blacks and minorities in the United States during his presidency up to the point of the COVID than any other president in modern time. Oh, there's just something to look at. Oh, by the way, he also passed that one measure that let out mostly black folk that were wrongly imprisoned for extended amounts of time. for minor amounts of pot and things like that. Uh, and when it wasn't just meant for blacks, it was meant for anybody that was wrongly imprisoned. But the majority of what got let out. By the way, it was 73% were black that got out on that. Mr. Hateful, I hate everybody that ain't white. So he helped the minorities quite a bit. I just want to let you know that it's quite an interesting thing to figure it out. I agree, Steve Major. I agree. It does require tolerance for disagreements, but not accusations being thrown out falsely. That don't require my tolerance. It requires me to stop it immediately. I agree with you on that. I don't believe in government control of business either. Uh, well, lost generations. That's your problem. I understand though. I understand where you want, but that ain't what they're trying to get either through what I'm saying because they are trying to force people to believe in their way. They're getting rid of anybody, even in government held positions, that do not believe in what they say. See, you should have the freedom to disagree with anybody at any given time, at any given point. Okay. So they ain't going for the same government you want, lost generation. They ain't going after the same things you want. You should be able to have that ability. And they're proving they don't want you to have that ability. Um, so, oh, no, they are. I mean, one lady, Green, didn't agree with Biden, and out of total, I'm going to get you back because she decided to put articles of impeachment against Biden. They attacked her and even set an unprecedented uh, uh, thing of happening by removing her from committees. Well, I'm sitting here stating facts too. They removed a person that disagreed with them from her committees in the government. Okay, they're now vetting the soldiers. They are going to shut down the 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 military for 3 months so they can vet the soldiers. And if they disagree with what Biden has to say, they're going to let them go in any way, shape, or form. It don't matter if they disagree at the color of his pee, they're letting him go. Okay? They're letting him go. Anything that goes against Biden and what he believes and what he's trying to push. No, I am not. That made it on the news, dude. That made it on the news. That's your mainstream and your small stream medias are talking about that. That ain't disinformation. That ain't disinformation at all. Every bit of what I'm talking about came on every little news feed throughout the freaking world. Them two particular talking points I just brought up, my friend. They are talking about right now shutting down the United States military, every military force for 3 months to vet and find out if they disagree or agree with Biden. And as soon as they disagree with Biden, Biden said they need to go out of his own mouth. Oops, that was all over the news, bud. Right out of his own mouth. That's what communist China and communist North Korea does. Okay. To with their government, but with their military, by the way. As soon as they say if the leader of China come out and said, I peed in the snow and it was pink, and one guy said it was yellow, he's gone. Period. He said, no, that pee was yellow. It wasn't pink. He would be gone out of their military and disgraced, dishonored, and all benefits and everything else taken away for military service and possibly his life in China. And freaking North Korea brags about killing their military that disagrees with them. So and we're running in the same steps. Let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of them as they do because they disagreed with something. Let's vet them. They disagreed. Okay, we got 300 people saying, yeah, he disagreed with Biden on whatever. Okay, now he's gone. Now he loses all. He may be a 20-year service member. Now he loses all his benefits, all his pension, all his everything that he worked hard for and put his life on the line for because he didn't agree with Biden and something he did. That's fucked up. That ain't a cliche. That's out of the man's mouth. You can't have a cliche when it's coming out of his mouth. His own freaking words. Just saying. Can't have a cliche when it's true facts that came out of his own freaking piece of crap mouth. Just saying. I'm not trying to be a dickhead to you, Lost Generation. I'm liking the idea you're giving me a talking point here. But there ain't no cliche when it comes out of his own mouth. And I put the stories up here when I've talked about that. And I put you links to the stories up here when I've talked about that before in the past. So why you didn't go look at the links and know what he's saying out of his own mouth, so you aren't saying it's a cliche. I don't understand that. But that's what he's trying to do. So what's next? Ex members of the military, Vietnam vets, Gulf War vets, World War II vets, if they're still alive, and all that. If they don't agree with him, they lose their benefits too. Okay, you see what I'm saying? They lose their pensions too. That's mind boggling and mind blowing to me. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I know, Swami. There's another one. Uh, yes, Steve Measure, you have, and let's see here. Slavery cannot be done by consent. You're right. How well are we doing? How well we are doing is always in direct proportion to how capitalist we behave. That's an interesting statement. Our economy decline is also in direct proportion on how anti-capitalist we behave. And that I try to be clear, concise. That's quite interesting observation, Steve Mazur, and you put it in a hell of a lot better words than I can actually put that in. So, Steve, and I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, that's what you're sitting here looking at with him when he actually uh, um, does something correct and proper and does something good by the people as a whole, I will be the first one to say, "Hey, Biden did something good," because I'm going to be stunned. I'll be shocked, and I'll be going, "Damn, look at this." But right now, he's showing he wants to destroy, hurt, maim, and keep everybody without jobs. He even tried to destroy the economy more. That what little bit we have at this point by by putting a $15 an hour minimum wage. Okay, well here's the problem with that. A lot of these companies are having a hard time and struggling as it is right now to keep afloat uh, with what they got. So you add on that extra money to minimum wage, they're going to be laying people off, okay, because they ain't going to be able to afford it. Because what little companies that are open can't afford that type of hike, okay, they're going to have to lay people off. That means more people without jobs. So how's that going to help? Then it also means inflation on goods because if they're going to keep them, they got to pay these people, and they ain't going to lose the profits. I've seen that three different times in my lifetime with uh actually I made more of a joke about it, Lady Saga. Just saying. Uh it was more of a joke. Uh, uh, yes, I agree, Steve. I agree. And honestly, if I make money, I want to say where my money goes. Okay, here you go, Lady Saga. Um, you are now a moderator. Please put the link. And Steve's right. Times do not change principles. Only people change principles. And I want to be able to say what I do with any money I make. Sorry. You're right, Steve Mazur. Any other government forces you to do what they see fit with your money. That is another thing, man. Okay. I want y'all to know that Union Electric went into contract, which that supplies the vast majority of the country's electricity. They went into contract with China. So hey, 5 Speed, how you doing, buddy? I hope you're well, bud. I ain't been watching it that long, but you're one of the persons that told me to start getting. stuff from there and start learning. So there you go, Steve. There you go, Steve. And every borrow, there's a contract signed that you are borrowing, and you will pay it back at their percentage on top of it as well. See here, I knew about Hunter back then, and Francie and the snipers were most likely U.S. There you go. Uh, no, actually, capitalism doesn't go against all that. As a matter of fact, the only time I've been hit with taxes had nothing to do with capitalism. Matter of fact, capitalism seeks to reduce taxes, and I do know that. That's stuff I've read about it. Capitalism seeks to reduce unfair, unchecked, and unmanned taking of people's money. It goes to reduce that. Okay, thank you. I will, Lady Jogger. Okay, so I'd like to know a little bit more about that. There we go. I got that wrote down. I will. Right. You're right, Steve Measure. And capitalism seeks to stop that. And it goes out of its way like a heat sinking missile to stop that. I agree with you on that, Steve Measure. I agree, man. I agree. And what really gets me is you pay taxes on land that you do not own. That's what really gets me. So any land that your house is sitting on, they're also charging you taxes on that, and you don't own it. I can tell you to get off of it tomorrow. It don't matter if you paid $300,000 in taxes in your lifetime on it. They'll tell you to get the frick off. So, so I'll be looking into that, Lady Zaga, because I sort of remember that. Yeah, I need to look into that, Lady Zaga. I really do. I hate to tell you, the people have thrown over dictatorships many times, lost generation many times. Just saying. One of the reasons why they're still fighting in over there in what's the hell's the name of that country in Africa? I was just reading about it. One of the main reasons they're still fighting is due to they don't want a dictatorship. They're fighting in China right now because they don't want a dictatorship. They want their thoughts and minds to be heard. Um, anybody that stands up against it, they get shot. They get they get killed. They get imprisoned into prisons that use them as forced slave labor, as forced and depending on how bad they dislike you, you could either go into a sweatshop or you can go into the coal mines, which is a guaranteed death because they don't give you things to keep your lungs free and clear of the black lung. They expect you to go down in them mines, breathe that dust all day, and come back. And in about 10 to 15 years, you're dead. If you're lucky, you get 10 to 15 years. Some don't even live that long. Uh, so, you know, what I think is funny is they call it jaywalking. I don't understand that because have I ever, when I'm walking, I ain't walking a J. I'm, I'm walking straight across, so you know. I mean, and it's doing that right now, Steve Major. You may be right, Steve. Authoritarianism. As far as the government goes, maybe you're correct there, Lady Gaga. Yes, right. That I agree, Steve. That I agree. My perspective is your government will never last, and there will always be uprisings against it, lost generations, as proven throughout history. It's proven from as far as back as the Roman government all the way up to modern day. So that I agree with, Five Speed, and that's what true capitalism's about. Five Speed, what you just stated. The snipers in Ukraine was a gold heist. Okay, that's interesting, Lady Zaga. That's very interesting. About getting arrested, and they say you're. That is not capitalism, man. That's called totalitarianism or Nazism. It's got many words, but it don't fall under the capitalism. I'll tell you that now, man. Well, that's interesting, Lady Gaga. That's very interesting. So they went into Ukraine and stole their gold. Interesting. I know. Well, I agree with you, man. I agree. But that ain't true capitalism. Their last generations, true capitalism prohibit that from happening, and that's why it's also prohibited by the Constitution for that happening. It's supposed to be prohibited. So it's called many, many things, Lady Zaga. Yes, tyranny, uh, uh, China, North Korea, Zimbabwe, Bali. I can name off many different places that are doing have been doing the same thing for many years that they're doing now. Very much so, Steve Measure. You're right, Steve Measure. I agree. It does cause less transparency. I mean, and by the way, every country that I named off, by the way, their lost generation, they either have had their conflicts to overthrow their governments by the people, or are still yet embroiled in conflict, wanting to have free speech and freedom of thought and not be told what to do, when to do it, how to do it. So you know, and we can add Myanmar to that. I might add, which, by the way, Biden supports and said he supported it and won't do anything about it, about their overthrow of their democratically appointed governing body being overthrown by the military forces yet again, um, to take back their power, which the people are now protesting their ass off over in Myanmar and taking the chance of being shot and killed because they've done it in the past to uh, uh, to get their point across. What they want is wrong. What we want is always right for you. So we can add that to that list as well of embroiled conflicts with the people against the governing body. Just to say, they took the capitalist movement that that lady was trying. The lady governess, whatever you want to call her, over there in Myanmar. They call her a president, but they don't. They call our society calls her a president, but they don't actually call her that over there. They call her a governess, or a governor of the land. Uh, they uh, they removed her, and she was trying to bring a capitalist government in, and they loved it. They actually had say so over their money. They actually had say so over their lives. They actually had say so about what they can do and what they couldn't do. And now, and for 45 long years, they didn't have that. They had exactly what you were asking for, Lost Generation, a governing body that tells you what you can do, when you can do it, how you can do it, where to shit, where not to shit, where to piss, where not to piss. Okay, if you piss here, you're going to jail. If you piss in that public toilet over there, but you can piss in that public toilet because I said it's okay. You can go piss there. Okay, that's how stupid they were getting. As a matter of fact, that was a story that was brought up about 10 and a half years ago, why they were still under the military rule. That's why I brought that up now. They literally closed down one public toilet, told the people they couldn't go piss in that public toilet or shit in that public toilet, But it's okay to go across the street and use that one. When people were going into the other one because they still wanted to go use that toilet, they were arresting them and putting them in jail. Okay, that's how stupid it got. Okay, and that's the type of government you're wanting to bring, Lost Generation. A government that tells you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, even as far as telling you what toilet you can piss in and what toilet you can't. I don't want that type of rule in my life. Just telling you. So, but capitalism's never told me what toilet I had to piss in or what toilet I can't piss in. Capitalism's never told me what I can and can't do with my money. No one's ever told me what I can and can't do with my labor under capitalism. So I'm just telling you, that's how I see that. When they ain't telling me what I can and can't do, you damn right it's better. As a matter of fact, capitalism tries to get less and less government involving into personal people's private lives in many different ways by cutting taxes by for the people. Uh, uh, they're cutting taxes even for businesses, so they can they will stay here. Uh, get rid of all taxes. Guess what? We wouldn't have to worry about no jobs now, would we? Every freaking business in the world would be here, and that's what capitalism essentially tries to do. Get rid of all taxes, not have a 32 cent on a dollar, and by the time Biden's done, you're going to be looking at 58 cents on the dollar. That's over half your paycheck going to the government, and that was in one of him in one of his bills he just tried to pass, and it got shot down because of that. Uh, so he just tried to charge everybody here 58 cents on the dollar to go to the government. Oh, I agree with you on that, man. I have a big problem with that. Um, I have a very big problem with that. I also know that, like down in Florida, when I was with the Game and Fish Commission on the biology side, they would not ever ask a person that knew how to go fishing for fish what their take was and how they felt the fishery was doing. They would always find people that were from out of state, knew very little about fishing and everything else, that might have been fishing out on a sandbar, to ask them about how many trout they caught. Okay. Oh, we caught a bunch of little trout, nothing that was keepers. So we had to throw them all back. So we're going home empty handed because they fished on a sandbar instead of round rocks. Okay. Because they don't know how to fish for them. And yeah, I have a big problem with that. They made up laws of false information. It's like the laws for the grouper. They made up laws when there was 14 different grouper associations that did tournaments that kept extensive records of what was caught, when it was caught, how big it was, how much they're growing, how much they're doing, and everything else, how many they're catching per day, things like that. Extensive records of grouper. And then they totally said, "We do not want your records. We don't care about your records. We'll handle it our way." And their way was to go talk to people from bumfuck Egypt, Wisconsin, or bumfuck Egypt, New York, or bumfuck Egypt, Missouri, that didn't know or even have a clue on how to fish for a grouper. They just tried to do it, and not knowing that certain places. Oh yeah, we know where this structure is because it's on the map. And then you go to that structure, they still ain't catching grouper because that structure ain't a grouper structure. The sharks and other fish that kill the grouper are there. Okay, so yeah, I have a big problem with them. Uh, I agree. Man, the caveman didn't have to worry about that, but I have a big problem with how they did laws for that. I agree. You're right on that, Steve Measure. You ain't kidding on that. That I have to agree with as well on that, Steve Measure. And I've even stated so on many a times. Quit being complacent. Quit allowing people to push you around. Stand up while you still can. I've said that a million times. That's getting to the point. Can't do that. We can have good conversations. We could have whatever type of conversations we want. Uh, about it. Now we can't. It's being pushed on us like a fucking steamroller. So, well, yeah. Well, let me tell you who also. This is going to blow your mind. At least the laws for fishing and things like that down like in Florida. Do you know who actually makes those laws and has the final say so? The National Weather Service, NOAA. Now, what the fuck does the National Weather Service have to do or know about fishing? They don't even know weather that well. They're what? I think they're 42% accurate on predicting the weather. So how in the hell are they going to predict fishing? Just saying, you know, I'm just saying there, man. Now I'm having an agreement with you on Lost Generation, and that's something I fought for years against Walmart. Walmart came in because they shut down one of my aunt and uncle's stores, and what they did is they came in. My aunt and uncle they were a small mom and pop business, and to make money they could not drop down the prices uh, that Walmart could drop to. Okay, and I fought against Walmart for years on that. I don't go to Walmart. I hate Walmart. I'd rather go to a small mom and pop business and pay a little extra money than I would to go to Walmart. I'm telling you that now because all they're doing is undercutting these small mom and pop businesses to where they have to go out of business because they ain't making money because it's cheaper to go to Walmart and they can't make their light bill or they can't make their payment to to the lease or whatever they have for the store. It's oh, I hate Amazon. I hate Amazon. I hate Amazon uh, with a passion. I've been boycotting Walmart for almost 25 years, Lady Zaga. I'm telling you that now. There you go, Steve Manager. There you go. I'm in total agreement with Steve. It depends on which state you're in. Did you know there's some states that it's illegal for you to have an air freshener hanging from your car mirror inside your car because they say it can impede your vision, and they could give you a ticket for that in some states. Bad man. Did you know that? Wow, Lady Zaga. Wow. Oh, okay. Well, that's why it makes sense to me, Lady Zaga. I'm glad you decided not to indulge them since they came there. I agree. I agree, Steve Measure. I agree. That I agree with. That I agree with. Uh, oh, I agree, man. I agree. Any way they can make a freaking dollar, dude. Anyway, and it's going up in price as well. By the way, um, if if HR 517 comes into effect, if you want to be legal and not an outlaw, it's going to cost you a fortune just to own that gun. And 800 and the fortune keep is going to be costing you will keep on yearly by yearly uh uh after you get it registered under a governmental registry, and you give up everything about yourself to the government, including your medical records, every medical record you got, uh, then that's going to cost you 355 to get that done, and that's not counting all the state seals and things like that. You got to get put on different documents before it could be to make them certified, so they could go to there and know that they are certified documents. So that's before all that. Then then they're going to charge you an $88.25 fee on top of that to register for a filing fee. Then every year afterwards, it's going to cost you $800 to keep that gun. Then they got 5117, HR 5117, which is going to put 150% tax on all ammo. So ammo is going to go up astronomically. It's already up astronomically compared to what it was just in the 90s. Okay. Now it's going to go up uh, double and a half of what it is now. So a hundred brick, $100 brick of 22, which a lot of people have been telling me that 22 rounds are at $100 a brick now. Um, will be $250 a brick. Okay, if these two measures pass, these two laws pass. So just to let you know, and that's to legally own a gun. They expect you to do that if you already own a gun. And then to buy a gun, you got to go through all that hoopla as well. Just saying. Yes, you're right, Lady Zaga. You're right on that. You're right. I've read many stories about that, Lady Zaga. And that I agree with, Lady Zaga, with Walmart. And I don't like Walmart. There's nothing about Walmart I like. Hey, sis, son, what's up, buddy? Ain't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right on that, Lady Zaga. You're right. Uh, uh, as a matter of fact, Walmart security, that's how they start watching you and start walking with you. They use that. As a matter of fact, I seen them use it at Walmart while I was in the office one time speaking with the store manager. Uh, they used it. They right in front of me, and they said, "We need to watch this guy because this guy is a known thief." Okay, and they put someone on him to tail him through the whole store while he was there immediately. So, well, that's good, sis, son. I'm glad to hear that, buddy. I don't. I want that to stop. Honestly, Steve Mazur, and they're wanting right now this. What I'm seeing in the government right now, that's what they're pushing for. Just saying. Yeah, yeah, man. I could go on and on and on about laws, stupid fish and game laws. I can too, and I don't like them. All right, sis, son, you have a good day, man. Enjoy your day. Hope you're having a good one. Well, guys, I've been on here an hour and 32 minutes. I got things to do. I may or may not be back later on today. Them were just three things I wanted to bring up, uh, and then do a spoof about it. Uh, Especially since I've heard how good all that letting people in the country's going to be. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what he's been saying, Lost Generations. That's exactly what he's been saying. Do not force anybody to do anything they don't want. So, but on that note, I want you all to have a good day. Talk to you later. Um, Enjoy your day if you can. And I will talk to you later. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whichever the case may be. I'm out.